Buffs Nation, what is going on? Hopefully, you guys are having a wonderful, football Sunday. It's looking like, the Houston Texans are about to blow a lead to the Cincinnati Bengals, kind of keeping, no, man, keeping track of that from afar. We got the Cowboys later today. We got the Broncos tomorrow night, but we're here to talk college football. We're here to talk Buffs. I mean, there's a lot to talk about. So I am joined here by my good friend, who I love breaking down all our games with, RawhideMedia4U. Rawhide, what is up? How are you doing today, man?
Oh man, I'm trying to get through it. I had a long night last night, but I think I'm refreshed and a little more calmer. So I think I'm good. How about you?
And I'm doing great. Always after, man, those hard losses, man. They always just hit you right in the heart, man. But woke up, had a great day today. Went to I still got a friend in town, my friend Zane. So we went to the Buff, which is like one of the breakfast spots that Coach Prime first visited when he took the job here. So that he reviewed on YouTube. So we got a great, amazing breakfast. Tons of Buff fans there. Um, but man, we got a lot to talk about. Do you want to talk about the game first? Do you want to talk about how hilarious it is that Jimbo Fisher got fired after a 51-10 victory? Where do you want to start with this, man?
Bro, hey, I'm gonna let you steer this boat, and I'm just gonna be in on the rise. So I'll let you wherever you want to go with it.
All right. Well, let's start. Let's start with Texas A&M because we know Buffs fans in the chat, man. They're gonna want to be talking about the game. They're gonna want to be talking about recruiting, all that. So, I mean, let's start off with this, man. The life of Jimbo Fisher right now. Eric and I were talking a little bit on Twitter. Um, man, I wish I. Congratulations to Jimbo Fisher, man. You made it. You made it. You parlayed yourself into a wonderful retirement, and there shouldn't be any reason that man should be upset, today. But what are your thoughts on Jimbo Fisher, Texas A&M? Where do you see them going from here?
Hey, Jimbo straight fleeced Texas A&M. You know what I'm saying? I had been talking about Jimbo for years now since he's been there, and unfortunately, saying, well, unfortunate for the university, fortunate for Jimbo, bro, he got paid. But let's be honest about it. Jimbo hadn't, he rode Jameis Winston back to a national championship, and I know it's more to it than just one player. So I'm not totally discrediting that, but uh, and he had a lot of good seasons there at Florida State. I mean, he had 2 seasons that he didn't win double digits. All the rest of them, it was double digits winning seasons. So, he built up his following. Everybody in that moment thought he was some of the best, a Nick Saban disciple. But be straight up out, it's something. There is a problem with Texas A&M and their culture, and they're just not going to. They're not going to be what the fans want them to be. And I
Money
also
don't
say
fix
this:
culture.
it don't, bro. And when Texas entered into the SEC, they lost their recruiting advantage as far as saying we're the only Texas team in the SEC because Texas A&M didn't like that move. They was trying not to allow the University of Texas into the SEC. And what a lot of people don't know is also there was a unsaid rule in the SEC says that they won't have more than one school that's in the same state. I know a
Yes.
lot of people are gonna say Mississippi State and Ole Miss, but they've been there from almost since day one. So Texas didn't like that move. But anyway, I said a whole lot to say, man, that's a sinking ship at Texas A&M, and you got to work hard to overcome that culture. I mean, on a light note, bro, they don't even have women cheerleaders really. So what do you expect from that?
Dude, man, like I said, man, I don't think it's I don't think anything will happen between Coach Prime and Texas A&M.
Oh no, oh
I think
no.
Texas A&M, they're going to go after one of these big time established college football coaches right now. I honestly feel like Dan Lanning. I think he would be a good fit there, but um, I think definitely, Coach Prime will say, if I'm even going to consider doing even listening to y'all got to get rid of the male yell leaders. That's got to be number one. And the second thing that goes got to be the midnight yell. But I don't know, man. I think that would be a huge get for them. Or that Duke coach, I've seen his name, Mike Elko. Is that his name? That could be interesting, but I think you're already seeing the decommits happen from Texas A&M, and you're going to see a ton of guys hop in the transfer portal over the next 30 days or whatever it is. So hopefully there's opportunity for us to snag a few of those guys, whether it's through high school recruiting or through the transfer portal. I think that there will be turnover just like there is with any new regime coming in there. And hopefully this bodes well for the Buffs to get some players, right? Them in Michigan State. Hopefully we can grab a few of those guys.
Mm-hmm. Hey, bro, I wouldn't be surprised if Sean Lewis' name doesn't come up for that job. I wouldn't be surprised. So?
You think so? I was thinking more of him for Boise State.
No, I mean, he could go to Boise. I mean, Boise State could be an option, but don't be surprised, man. I'm telling you, not you, I'm just people in general. Bro, we watch Colorado, and a lot of folks are down on Sean Lewis, but from a national perspective, they ain't down on Sean Lewis as much as some of the people that watch Colorado football. You know what I mean? They ain't watching it in detail as a lot of Colorado fans do. But, man, he's still well respected. And in addition to that, if you go out after a big coach, you're going to have to give him a Jimbo similar type of contract. You could pay Sean Lewis, $3, $4, $5 million. You just dropped $77 million. You see what I'm saying? So you got to drop a few more million for a new guy. So you can get Sean Lewis, bro, a coach like that. Now I ain't saying it's gonna happen, but don't be surprised if you hear his name.
Man, just insane. Just insane to think about how it's just not even an issue, man, with them biting the bullet on that thing, man. It is just mind blowing, and it's going to be very entertaining to see where they move on from here. Of course, we've seen this morning Winston Watkins decommitting, saying that he'll still keep Colorado in his top whatever schools. Talon Chandler, our interior lineman, this was one thing I was expecting, not expecting to happen, but it definitely could be a possibility. Is just with him now getting a crystal ball to go to Mizzou, with him being so tied to Bill O'Boyle and looking like he's on his way out. That was something that was on my mind as seeing a possibility of that happening. But man, this stuff happens, and I'm not going to be one of those guys that talks bad about these kids for committing and decommitting anything like that. We see it happen all the time with other schools, and I think it's ridiculous when we got grown men tweeting at these guys, saying, "What the heck are you doing?" and whatnot, man. I'm not going to make too much of a big deal about it. I think we'll get other good players to come in here. Any thoughts right now with what's going on with some of the decommitment for rumors of decommitments happening with CU so far this weekend?
Oh, yeah. Winston Watkins, I wasn't surprised by that. I mean, honestly, 2025, I don't put a whole lot of stock in commits that's in 2025, right? I mean, you got a year plus for them to be even eligible to sign with the team. A whole lot can go. Man, that's just too much time. So I don't put a whole lot of stock. When he originally committed, I like it's good. It looks good, but I wouldn't have banked it. You know what I'm saying? Now Taylor Chandler worries me. I don't think he has officially decommitted, has he? They just crystal balled him.
Yeah, went to that visit to Mizzou, and again, because it was Bill O'Boyle that established this whole relationship with him and CU, I'd wondered, if he's kind of on his way out with him and Sean Lewis. Just watch him and Danny O'Neil. I don't think they're guarantees and locks. After we've kind of seen them be stripped of some of their responsibilities, and we'll get to Pat Shurmur in a bit. Thought he called a good game. Not a perfect game, but I think you can call it a good game. Give him B grade. Um, let's get into that. Let's get into that. Give it to me, man. Give it to me. You disagreeing with me, man? Let's go at it again. Break it down for me, man.
I mean, I think he called a good game. Honestly, overall, the team itself, I think that was one of the most complete games that they have played. Were there some mistakes wrong? I mean, hold on. There was some mistakes that the team made, yes, but that happens in every football game. So I ain't mad at the overall what they put on the field. I am. I there
I
was
know
some
where you're going with this.
situation. There were some situational things that occurred, and I didn't care for. Was the snap for Model miss field goal? Was it a high snap?
No, I think it was because we were holding it in the shittiest part of the field, right there on that freaking dirt patch that we haven't fixed all season long.
Yeah. So, and he barely missed it. He barely missed it. So I'm not even really mad at Model. You know what I'm saying? Oh Lord. But you know they they tried to run the ball. I guess a little more. Hold on. Make sure I'm clear on this. They ran the ball more than they normally do. How about
With a
that?
6 offensive lineman set for a handful.
Hey, I like that. I did like that.
Like as this keyboard coach, as we've both been saying, this was number 91. I guess is Hank Zelinskis. I guess he changed his number for some reason. Maybe he's a reserve, a defensive guy too. But it was great to see, man, having that extra lineman in there, regardless of how successful it was. It was great to at least see it attempted.
Right. I mean, they finally figured out how to put an extra offensive lineman in there after 10 games. But I'm not gonna get started. I'm not gonna get started. I get it. I get it. I get it. It just really bothers me. But the offensive line actually performed better than normal.
Imagine
Now,
that.
imagine that.
Imagine that.
Imagine
We got
that.
to average, dude. We got to average. That's what I would say.
Oh, okay.
Okay, put it on a scale of 0 to 10. Did we make a 5? Were we at a 4? Where were we at?
Is this scale based on what the offensive line been doing, or just overall? How do I grade overall good offensive line?
Yeah, overall good offensive line.
Oh, they still was about a 3.5, 4. They still was bad, but David, hold on, think about this, bro. Think about this. See, you already got me started. See, David, uh, bro, you do. We would agree that if we was watching, when you watch the Cowboys, right? And if they give up 4 sacks, we're gonna say that offensive line is not performing very well.
Right.
We would say that, right?
Yes.
There we go. See, and that's where we go. But if you gave me a scale on the Colorado offensive line and how they perform all season, 10 being good, 1 being bad, I would grade them a 7, 8.
No, shoot. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, imagine that, man. Imagine that. Again, this is where I thought this is what we saw yesterday, man. That was kind of the line play I was expecting from our line most of the year. That's kind of what I was expecting. And the fact that it's a 7 on the year, but you said, holistically, you're comparing to greater college football, it's a 3.5. It just is what it is.
Yeah, but I put it to you like this: if that offensive line had to perform, see, this is what I agree with you 100%. What I saw in that game is what I would have saw in the beginning of the season, and they would have gradually gotten better. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I was kind of looking for, and that didn't happen. So this is where we stand right now. We got 2 scales. We got the Colorado Buffalo scale, and then we got how you kind of look at offensive line. All you know, what I'm saying. I think one of the guys in the comments, I think Law Dog, I think he was an offensive lineman. But hey, if he gave up 3 sacks, now guess what? He played trash. I'm just saying, if that's what he did, it is what it is. but if he's been giving up 10, and he only give up 3. He did a good job. I think perspective. We got to have perspective when we look at this. You know what I'm saying? You got to have perspective.
Hey, and I want to say this, guys, on same day reactions, it's just like the coaches and players on the field, man. You know, just, emotions are, they're going to be at its all-time high, man. We might be, saying some wild things or whatever, but always when you wake up the next day, man, you still might be
It's a lot better.
Might be happy, but you're just a little bit more in your wits. The alcohol, the weed's wearing off, and you're a little bit more sobered up. But I love it, man. Right. I love the same day reactions versus the day after reactions.
Yeah. You have a whole lot more perspective 24 hours after the game. You know what I mean? So, but again, let me just reiterate. I think overall that team played one of the best games they played all season. I think they played better than they did when they played that TCU game. Yeah, I think that. And the reason why I say that, because it felt like they played complimentary football. You got stopped.
I'm on the ball, every
you time on the ball, bro. Sometimes
we still had 11 penalties though. But yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting you.
You good. No, you good. But it looked a little clunky. I understand people like that are going up and down the field, but just from all 3 phases of the game, I felt like it was, what I'm saying, offense was in comparison, offense between 6 and 8, defense between 6 and 8. Special teams, unfortunately, was not even that bad. It wasn't even that bad. Special teams wasn't even that bad.
What did you think about that first punt return, though?
Yeah. Hey, and then when he fumbled it,
yeah, man. I was telling my buddy Zane, he's like, "Oh yeah, we got Weaver back there. Let's go." And I said, "Man," I was like, "Do not." I said, "Just watch, man." I was like, "Man, we got the worst special teams in the country." And but thank God, man, Jordan Dominic picked that thing up and ran it for another 10 yards or whatever it was. But I will say, special teams was awful, except our man Mark Bassett, man. He had some great punts, man. This past game, man. He was elite. He was elite, and we were able to play the field position game a little bit and be quite successful because of him. And I think he's been improving as the years gone on. I'm no longer worried when we punt it.
I am. Yes, totally agree. I was just saying, I agree with you. So keep going. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was just agreeing with you. I was man.
But I'll say this, Rawhide. Man, we go back and forth every few days or whatever on like how we coach this team, how we want to strategize, how the game management, all that. Honestly, and I feel like I'm in the minority on this a little bit. So y'all in the chat, y'all let me know if I'm right or wrong. But I don't have an issue with the game management last game, man. I thought this was fine because man, everything was set up for Mata to make that field goal, and then we handle business. And if Mata makes that field goal, and I think, again, we don't know what could happen, only in an alternate universe or whatever, I think our defense gets that stop. Being up, the momentum, the crowd going crazy, the pressure on Arizona, man, to come back and tie it up, whatever. And, I liked Coach Prime's decisions, and everything was set up for that win. It just didn't happen. It's unfortunate they had to burn a timeout because the offense and Shedeur didn't get off the field in time. And I will say, I didn't bring this up last night. During the game, I thought with that hit that he took on that scramble, I thought that should have been a personal foul. And I understand why he was all mad about it. I guess Lexi was telling me that in the presser, Shedeur said that he had like a migraine or something after that hit. I mean, he didn't see the field afterwards. Which is a bummer, but I didn't really have an issue with how the game was called. There wasn't any glaring game management miscues or anything like that. Now, people saying for you to go for it on 4th and 7. Again, Mata has been great this year. He's missed that 150 whatever, but he's hit multiple field goals from longer distances at Folsom earlier this year. I didn't have an issue. He had the leg to make it. was just about 6 inches to right. So give me your thoughts on game management.
Oh Lord. Game management. I mean, there was a
Some
few
of the third and
plays
one
that,
calls were whack.
yeah.
Like,
I don't want to sit here and kind of pick him apart. I think it was better than what we've seen previous games, right? I do question, I question a few play calls as far as the 3rd and 1 that when he was under center. Now,
yeah,
I do question that, but again, all coaches, no one's perfect. So I'm trying to come from that perspective. Nobody's perfect. People tend, what I'm saying, they don't always call the right calls. And if they had completed that pass, which he rolled out and he and he just killed half of the field. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. I'm just saying if you was gonna throw the ball, I would have much preferred him to do what he normally do in shotgun and have the whole field, but they chose to go on the center. And, if I'd have went on the center in that play, I would have handed the ball off because you ran it for 8 yards, 1 yard, and then you said I pass.
Rawhide, tell me, when Shador was under center for like those few plays, was it mainly play action? Did we ever hand the ball off while he was under center? I'm trying to remember.
I thought they handed the ball off right before that play. He was on the center back to back.
Oh, okay. And then we gained like 1 yard, and then we did the play action. But I thought, when we were doing play action there, I thought that, oh, well, if this doesn't work, we'll just go for it here on 4th. I was expecting them to go for it, but again, I didn't have a huge issue with them not with the way Mark Bassett was punting. Didn't have an issue.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I agree with that. I guess the reason why I wanted them to run it there because I was thinking kind of like you were thinking they'll go for it on 4th down. They would have gained. Honestly, if he had handed the ball off, he would have easily got the 1st down. It was there to be had. But if not, right, he had got half a yard. Now it's 4th and inches. You see what I'm saying? So your decisions are different at that point. So I just, I ain't gonna knock. I mean, again, I'm not gonna nitpick him to death. I would like to see him choose something different there. And if that's really all the negative I got to say about it, that says how well they did in comparison to previous games.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt, and yeah, I think again, I think if we don't extend some of those drives for Arizona in the first half because of those penalties, which were, in my opinion, questionable and BS. This very well could be a different game. But again, with the schedule that we've had, I think we're 1-6 against ranked opponents this year. The margins are just so thin, and it's like these little things, how you execute with in a finite group of 4 or 5 plays really determine the outcome of the game. And that's what you see here. The margins are razor thin when there is no talent advantage outside of who we got at quarterback versus what they had. Because I thought we did a good job at limiting Noah Fafita. He was somebody that is very dangerous outside the pocket. He did not have a good game. He was throwing inaccurate balls all over the place. And that 6'5" wide receiver they got, man, he was just making incredible catches up in the air. That man just needed to throw it within a 5-yard vicinity, and he was snatching it out of the air. He had a great game, and sometimes, man, they just make really good plays, and they made a few more really good plays than we made. But we made some good plays, man. Jimmy Horton had a great catch, man. He had a great touchdown.
He had a great catch. Hey, honestly, when he caught that ball, I actually thought that was Travis. And then I looked, oh, that was Jimmy Horn. I see Jimmy Horn caught that ball. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he did good. He did well. I'm happy. Hey, he'll catch that ball, right? But when they just
it's the easy one.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Jimmy.
Now I will say, Zay Weaver, man, he brought it. Man, it's too bad he couldn't get that really tough touchdown catch there at the end. That was a tough catch to make. But man, I know the TV can't show the full view, man, but he he was open on like freaking every route he would run.
Really?
Yes,
Really?
dude, the view was wide open. And there were some times where like Shador just kind of he had to navigate around the pocket, quite a bit. And he would like miss those windows, as he's kind of like moving around. So there's nothing you can really do about it. But if we can continue to build that O line, improve for next year, man, those guys are going to be open. I know Zay won't be with us next year, sadly. What draft pick do you think Zay's going to be? Like, what round? You got any idea?
Maybe 4th rounder.
You think so?
Yeah, probably 4th rounder.
Let's bet on this. I'll bet round 3. You're going to bet round 4. That's like, and we can decide what we're going to bet on.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. He shows heck ain't going 1st round, but yeah, I'm thinking
too old to go 1st round. I feel like only the 21-year-olds go in the 1st round at this point.
Yeah, I think he's a 4th rounder. But because the deal is, who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Josh Reynolds. That's what he reminds me. I know a lot of people probably not really familiar with Josh Reynolds. I think he's on Detroit team right now. He played at Texas A&M. I mean, honestly, they could look like they could be brothers, but he reminds me a lot of Josh Reynolds. And Josh Reynolds kind of had that the season as he's having. So I would I'm banking on 4th round. I mean, 3rd round, you could be right on 3rd round. I mean, 4th and 3rd ain't a whole big difference, but I don't. Yeah, it's just that he don't do anything just so exceptionally well. You know what I'm saying? He's good at being a wide receiver. He just, he don't have just extreme speed. You know what I'm saying? He ain't jumping out the building. He doesn't have the body type, a massive body type. He ain't got a whole lot of quick deals, and which is none of these are bad. What I'm talking about is what usually tips wide receivers over to the first and second, sometimes 3rd round. That's in just my opinion.
Yeah, no doubt. We got a super chat here from East Coast Kev, and let's go ahead and talk about this. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. That's very kind of you and keeps us going. I appreciate it. In regards to Prime leaving, let's be honest, he's a mercenary. Always has been. Don't believe me? Just look at his career. Whether baseball or football, he's never stayed in one place. Nice show. Thank you. Let's break this down and let's talk about this a little bit. I think this is totally valid. When I was in Texas, seeing family a couple weeks ago, Lexi's Uncle John, he's a big 49ers fan. And he was saying, man, Deion was always saying that you'd never go to Dallas Cowboys. And then you know what happens, man. He goes to the Dallas Cowboys. And, I think that it's true. He doesn't ever stick in a place for too long. But, again, I don't see him leaving this year. I think he's comfortable. I think he's happy. And definitely I don't think Texas A&M's in the mix right now because you're not going to break up this whole family thing since, Shiloh's used up his transfers and whatnot. And again, culturally, it's just how could you pair prime time with like the cringiest, cultiest fan base, in college? It's just not a good fit. But I think this is something where, there might be other opportunities here in the future. Who am I to say? But I think right now, some people might get mad saying this, but we've seen at this next level of college football, he's not quite there yet with managing the games yet. So I would not call him a mercenary at this level yet. Do I think he'll get there? As being one of the best coaches in college football, I think so. But again, if you got unlimited money right now, as Texas A&M is, for instance, I don't see why you don't go find somebody like Mike Elko or Dan Lanning instead.
Bro, you hit the nail on the head. First off, chat, let me just say this. Coach Prime, more likely than not, will never coach a team in the SEC. Unless they're just god-awful desperate, they are not allowing him to go in there and run that program like they are at Colorado. Now, The only team that I even think would just even consider it is the University of Florida. And the only reason why I say that is that fan base is god awful desperate because they know the taste of sweet nectar. They know what it is to win national championships. You know what I'm saying? And the way Georgia's dominating, they might bite their tongue and twist it and be like, oh, come on. But outside of that, ain't not now one of them gonna let Coach Prime come do what he's doing in Colorado. Not now. Ain't no way. No way.
No.
I think even Auburn had pushback from that. The fan bases don't like him for the most part, bro. He ain't going to Texas A&M.
All these rich boosters from the deep south.
No, they ain't doing
so
it.
Much,
bro.
They want to see a certain kind of person succeeding at their university. Not
bro. Hey, exactly. Now he could, they'll swallow a few pills on trying to be a little more cool, but bro, there's a line they ain't crossing. You ain't finna be running no cameras up down through in Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Auburn, Tennessee, bro. And also because they got the money, they don't need nothing like that. Like, see, Colorado's being resurrected. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Colorado, no one talked about Colorado for years, right? Bro, Florida, sorry, they still in that folks' mouths. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, bro, they making $100 million a year, bro. They ain't. They ain't doing that, bro. They ain't doing that, bro.
Dude, who's the Auburn coach now? Hugh Freeze, man. Again, it just shows you all that you need to know about these old money universities and the fact that they would much rather hire somebody like Hugh Freeze. Just all you need.
Yeah.
All you need.
Yeah. Exactly, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for the super chat, East Coast Kev. We do have our lovely USC fan here, $4 super chat. Slap happy.
Thank you, Slap.
Hey, Slap or Happy, you better be still slapping Happy. Sorry about your Trojans last night, man. It's just it's just insane, man. It's insane. And I don't hate USC fans. There are a lot of people that hate USC fans. I don't really hate USC. But did you catch any of that game last night? I know that probably went off till like 3 or 4 of your time in the morning.
No, man. Hey, bro, I was home talking to the fans so long last night. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even get to see it. Honestly, I didn't get to see any football game after Colorado. So I was occupied. Man, what is that? What is his picture?
Oh. Dude, I know. I always thought it was like a butt. And it always like threw me off, I don't know what that is in the background. Oh no, I see it now. For a second I thought it was a pumpkin. No, that's the husband. That's the husband kissing the baby. That's the daddy kissing the baby.
Oh, is it? Okay.
That bro right there. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for completely missing what your profile picture was and probably ruining it. I'm really sorry. I did not mean to do that.
Oh, hey, look, he lost me on that. He said Mata is not a what?
Hey, let's talk about the kicking game. Let's talk about the kicking game because here are my priorities. Here are my priorities for the offseason. Right. Let's talk about this. My priorities for the offseason. Number 1, find an offensive coordinator. Number 2, find an offensive line coach that actually coaches at this level and has a track record doing it. Number 3, kicker. We need somebody to kick it through the end zone every single time, to be consistent, that can make those long field goals. And number 4, Jordan Seaton. Those are my top 4 priorities.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't disagree with any of them. They do need to go and recruit. I was looking at their offers. I didn't even see a kicker offered. No,
we need that guy who's got that offer from BYU, right? Like, let's just go get that guy. You want to live in Provo or you want to live in Boulder?
Yeah, I'll take Boulder. I'll take
I guess
all
it
this.
depends if you're LDS or not. But if he's not LDS, I think we got a shot.
I don't think he is. I don't think he is, but you're right. They need to go get a kicker, bro. Just why is that? Why is that so hard? I don't even see one offered, and I don't even have a problem with Mata. I got a problem with.
Come
I mean, Thielen, man, he's a little inconsistent, but he has gotten better. I think, but so I think he has
No, I
gotten better.
don't feel like we've really seen him.
So he was in. Where was he at? They said he was in the locker room or something at the time that Mata kicked that field goal
I
and
think he
missed it.
got hurt. I think he might have gotten hurt somehow because I noticed 98 was doing the kickoffs in the second half. That guy who kicked it out of bounds a couple times against which school was it? I can't remember. But he was back there and he kicked him through the end zone. And I was like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm. Well, I really want to just talk about this game. I'm just talking about Feely overall, period, since the very beginning of the season. But oh, I agree. Also agree trying to get a Seaton. That would be a nice addition. I am getting kind of concerned with recruiting. I'm not sure what's the story out on Colorado is because I'm sure a lot of uh, kids, oh, I shouldn't say, a lot of young men are asking those players that's in the program, and I am very interested to know what the real is. How do they really feel about it? You know what I'm saying? And how this season went.
I want to know so bad.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot to be excited about, obviously, and I think Cover Two Harmony brings this up. Coach Prime's learning. He's learning more of the game management. I think he got better this past week. There's no doubt about it. I felt like he got better this week. But there is, now with Pat Shermer coming in the fold, and then there's questions of big time graduate guys that we brought in here that we haven't seen play. Such a smoke. I mean, he tweeted out something on Friday. He's like, man, it just sucks that I was never able to show what I got. And I mean, this is a guy who rushed for 1,000 yards in the SEC. Yeah, there's some uncertainty for sure. There is some uncertainty, especially until we know who's going to be next on the coaching staff. Think Pat Shermer is going to stick around? As OC, you think he'll go back to analyst?
Yeah, I don't think he wants to because he was already living there. So
Yeah,
I mean, he just get back involved. I don't think he has any intentions of being an OC. He don't come off like he a college football guy no more. No,
yeah.
he don't want that grind. He don't want that grind, bro. He didn't. He don't
No,
want
he's
that.
chilling with Mike Zimmer. That's what
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, bro.
Let's talk about Cormani, man. You didn't hear much or see much from him last game, and that's a great thing. He was playing great coverage. I think he got in there for a couple tackles. He might have had one missed tackle on one of those long Coleman runs, but that guy was stiff arming everybody on that run. I think he might have stiff armed and broken every secondary, attempt to tackle on that play. But man, it was great to see Cormani start, from start to finish, and also not see a ton of guys being swapped out in the secondary too. Like I like that they just start Cormani, they let him do his thing, and I'm very happy for him. I think he played really well.
Right, right. I don't have anything negative to say about Cormani. I think he played well. It's funny. It's funny how he's all of a sudden playing now. I wonder. Makes me wonder: is there talk or is the whispers going around? And he's like, man, let me put this dude on the field. I know they said that he's improved because the example they use that he would have never ran with those guys, and now he's doing that and referring to his growth. I hear you. I just really, I'd also like to know how Cormani truly feels about this season. But yeah, he played well. He did. He played well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely do. We got another super chat from East Coast Kev. Again, thank you so much. He says, Prime's going to finish the mission first. No doubt. That's my hope. Then I can see him Atlanta, Vegas, Washington, Houston. Are we talking about the NFL? He's going to go somewhere desolate and build just like Colorado. Love Prime. He'll get it right. Again, we've talked about this a little bit in the past, Rawhide. I don't really see Coach Prime going to the NFL. I feel like he's more built for college football. But if Al Davis was alive, I could have seen the Raiders as a possibility. Now, with the Tom Brady connection, maybe something crazy happens here in a couple years or whatever, with Vegas, and they just bring in the whole family, man. They draft Shador, draft Shiloh, draft a bunch of players from CU. They bring in Byron Leftwich as an offensive coordinator if he's here, and then just why not? But any other thoughts? I've never seen him coaching Dallas Cowboys, or Houston seems to be on the right track right now.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he's not gonna. I don't think he can. He'll do well. I don't think he even wants any part of the NFL. That's a different type of animal you got to fight. And honestly, I think this Power Five is the Power Five of today is real close to NFL. And the things that he don't like about the NFL, he's having to deal with some of that even in the Power Five. There is some appeasing that has to be going on and swallowing of a lot of things that you don't necessarily care for. And if people don't believe what I'm saying, y'all need to go look at the history of Nick Saban and him coaching at Alabama. He didn't have to swallow some of the things and how he feels. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't the same as it was back in the day. So no to the NFL. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, I think we got a good thing going on here, man. Jay Brown saying the future is bright, period. Stop being so negative. Man, again, if I had to give an A right now, or give a grade right now, Rawhide, for this season, it's an A. It's an A. I can't give an A plus because right now we're not bowl eligible, but I'm giving it an A. Yeah, and in my opinion, if it's anything less than that, y'all lack context.
I know, bro. I know, bro. I totally agree with you, Dave. I don't even know what he mean by being negative. I don't even think we said anything that is negative. What I'm saying is,
maybe it's what last
night. Oh, maybe that's what it is. I think I even said last night. I gave him an A+ overall. The program, the building of the program. I gave Coach Prime an A+. I think he's doing a heck of a job as far as program building. Hey, most viewed team in college football. On the tips of tongues of all coaches, all media types, and recruits, right? Showing and expressing some of the good players that he has, like his Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter. Bro, how can that not be an A+?
The recruiting's gonna fall in line, man. I think. I'm not too stressed about the recruiting, even with the news. There's going to be a ton of things that change over the next month and a half, 2 months, for a ton of schools. And when you're in the running for these 4 or 5 star guys, I mean, stuff just seems to happen all the time, man. I'm not. It just seems to be part of the business. But
yeah, it is.
I will say, man, as long as I think the transfer portal period and the recruiting period, and as long as we're not bringing in Jimbo Fischer in here as our offensive coordinator. I have serious expectations for us in the Big 12. Next year, and man, I'm excited too because, again, I think this Utah game here in a couple of weeks, it's going to be a great litmus test, or it's going to give us a great grid on kind of where we're at in the Big 12 and where we have to go. Because I think Utah is going to be one of the better programs in the conference next year. I think they will have better quarterback play. But, man, Washington State, man, they're on a nosedive right now, man. So who's to say if we win against Washington State, maybe we come out against Utah as that more motivated team, man, and get bowl eligible. I guess we could still be bowl eligible with 5 wins, but that's not nearly as fun and satisfying. But hey, I won't ever say no. Believe me, no bowl wins since 2004. I ain't ever gonna say no to a bowl opportunity.
Facts. You need to be, as even Rob said, you go to a bowl, you get to practice longer, and that's a good point. You know what I'm saying? So that's added practice time and evaluation time. So I agree with that. You need to get to a bowl. They really need to get to a bowl. They really do.
Yes. People, I see there's a little a little conversation here about Dan Lanning. This is fun. Let's do this. Lanning or the Washington coach won't go to Texas A&M. I will say Seattle is way cooler than College Station, but I don't know, man. I don't really know too much about Eugene, but let's say your salary is doubled and then you get a private jet. You get, all the nice little perks that Lincoln Riley got going to USC. I don't know, man. Like, you're going to still be playing in terrible time slots there, being on the West Coast. I don't know. Dan Lanning's a Southern roots guy, right?
Yeah, I do believe so. Dan, I don't know about this. See, I'm worried about. Well, I ain't worried. I mean, I shouldn't have used that word, but I just think they're really going to be concerned with getting this hire right, and also the amount of money they're going to have to shell out. I
Yeah.
think that's going to play a big role in who goes to Texas A&M. That's why I'm looking at more of an assistant, up and coming type of coach. But I could be totally wrong, and next thing you know, it is Dan Lanning. So I get it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna look up his background here really quick because I know he came from Georgia, just to see where he's been at.
He coached at a high school in Missouri.
Okay.
So that was his first coaching stop, 2008 to 2010.
Yeah, he's from Missouri. Yeah. Pittsburgh, GA. Arizona State, GA. Arizona State. What's an RC?
Do what?
2013, he was RC. I don't even know what RC is.
Recruiting coordinator.
Oh, recruiting coordinator. Yeah, that makes sense. Same Houston State, Alabama, Memphis, Georgia, Oregon. I mean, he does have a lot of Southern roots, and he does look like a good old boy. So that's how it could all work out. He's got that good old boy face.
Oh. But yeah, so
Coach, can we get a flea flicker, a hook and ladder? Maybe a hook and ladder, but the idea of calling something depending on this offensive line to block is absolutely terrifying for me. While developing like that, I don't know. Should we see some more trick plays these next 2 weeks, Rawhide?
Man, hey, those flea flickers, brothers, man, y'all know how much time it takes to get that off. So you got to ask yourself a question: is it worth the risk? Because it can go terribly bad. So
yeah,
I don't trust offensive line giving them enough time to do all that anyway.
No doubt. Old school in the house. Speaking of profile pictures, he always has one.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about the game before we wrap up here, Rawhide. Can't think if there's any other things that I particularly want to mention. I guess I'll talk about this. Sometimes, man, after these heartbreaking games, man, it's just it's easy to be in a bad mood, man. I gotta say, man, leaving the game yesterday, there was this super drunk Buffs fan that was trying to fight this Arizona fan. Which, I mean, Arizona fans, they're not talking any mess or whatever. There was some right behind us, and they were hilarious. We had a good time, and so. Yeah, so I saw that fight at the end of the game, and then when we were walking back to our car on campus, I guess there were two. Again, I don't get this, man. Buffs fans, I guess we're just in a bad mood. They're like trying to merge in, on campus, and everything's backed up, and then they just both get out of the cars and they just start yelling at each other. It's like, I do not understand. Maybe that's the alcohol just flowing. Through people. But man, even online, I just felt like everybody was in a bad and sad mood, and that happens, man. When you win one, that man, I really felt like it was a win. Being on campus, it felt like it was a win. I tried to text you this, Rod. I don't think it went through just because of the number of people, on campus with the cell service. But I met Rick George yesterday.
Oh, okay, okay.
The AD. and I got to talk with him for a little bit. He used to work for the Texas Rangers too, so he had
Mm-hmm.
a little Buffs pin on and a Texas Rangers pin on. But I didn't tell him that I hate baseball. Did not tell him that. And that was pretty cool. I met from the DNVR tailgate. I met a few of the other viewers, which was a lot of fun. So, um, one of the guys, Steve, came from Springdale, Arkansas, which is
Oh,
where I
really?
also, and he was saying, I think he was in the Navy, and he was saying how he found out about CU's national championship in 1990 with them winning the Orange Bowl over Notre Dame. Through, I guess, like it wasn't like Morse code, but I guess he was on like a submarine or whatever, and they raised the submarine to get some sort of
Mhm.
radio signal so they could have the results of the game sent into them. I thought that was kind of a cool story. It would terrify me to live on a submarine. Absolutely terrify me. Um,
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
uh,
Right there with you.
but yeah, I guess any last talking points or anything that you wanted to
Well,
really
uh,
wrap up?
no, I think a lot of people have been preaching patience, and I get that, and that's what we all need. And again, I'll say, I just want to reiterate, I think he has done a great job overall. You know what I mean? So I don't think people need to necessarily hang their heads. You know, granted, you don't like to lose, but on Monday we should all have this kind of washed out and on to the next. We just hope that he can continue to build and grab the type of players that's needed, right, to make this program successful.
Yes, no doubt. No doubt. Well, y'all, thanks for tuning in. It's always great to chat Buffs football, college football with y'all every
Facts.
day. Yeah, and Rawhide, man, thanks for always being. I got to say this. I did not mention Giggity to Rick George that I wanted to be the PA announcer, but I will make myself known. Also got a follow from Darian Hagan this morning on Twitter, so that was really
Mm.
cool. Um, one of the greats for CU, national champion, all that, and so I gave him a follow back. That was cool to do. But yeah, overall great day. Rawhide, always appreciate you hopping on here talking with me. It's my favorite
No,
time of
man,
the week.
hey, I appreciate you, bro. I really do. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep it tempered. You know what I'm saying? Keep it down, but I do appreciate it, man. Hey,
Man,
for looking out for
viewers,
little old me. You know what I'm saying? Little old me, bro. You looking out for little old me.
man, I gotta say, viewers. Rawhide and I talked on the phone, and I don't think I've ever talked with anybody on the phone this long before. We talked for doggone near 3 hours on Thursday night, just chopping it up on the phone. That was a lot of fun, man. We were just cracking
Uh,
each other up the whole time, man. That was great.
facts, facts, facts. Oh, facts. Oh, hey guys, let me tell y'all. If y'all watch horror movies, all right, there is scene. When the cabin's always in the woods and somebody walk up and knock on the door. That's true. That Dave has informed me that is true. People actually do that. That's not anything made up. I I was blown away by that story. I didn't know people actually did that. So, hey, if you watch the horror movie, you see that, you're like, man, don't nobody really walk up to folks' house in the cabin and knock on the door, bro. That happens, bro. That happens.
Mountain people got their own way of living, and just do your research before you stay somewhere. Sometimes I learn things the hard way, but that's a story for another day. Appreciate you as always, Rawhide. Tell the viewers what you got going on later tonight in this week that people can be looking forward to.
Well, as always, we'll do our Monday night or day noon quarterbacking, and so we'll finally put this game to rest on tomorrow. Watch a little NFL tonight, and that's pretty much all I got going on. We'll get into that the next game, and and keep an eye close on recruiting and see how this is going to pan out and how this team is going to be built.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, y'all be sure to tune into my show tomorrow with Colin Moore from Life in Football. He's actually going to be interviewing me for story time this time, and I haven't shared all my stories. I got a few other stories to share on Monday. Just gotta tease that a little bit. So be sure to tune into that tomorrow. I'll catch y'all later. Appreciate you guys as always. Hit that like on the way out, and as always, go Buffs.
Go Buffs.